Hello everybody, it's Antoinette. I'm going to show you today how to draw using the numbers. You don't have to be artistic. You can do anything what you want if you just know how. You can color it in, you can use anything. I'm using Posca pens, but you can use pencils. You can use anything that you have. Don't have to go out and buy stuff at the moment, as we are all sitting at home. So let us start. Now, first thing first, we are going to use the number O. And this is going to be a crab. Now, let's start with Mr. Crab. Now, what you do is you make your circle and you give it eyes. And then you give it the pinches. And you give it feet because he has to walk. And then you just close the feet because you give it detail. And the final thing is give it a smile because he's a happy crab. And there you have your crab. I used orange Posca pens, but you can use anything as I said. Next, we're going to make a giraffe. And we're going to use number 1. And how do you make a giraffe with number 1? You just do this. And then you make a head like this. And you give it a little face. And then you give it some ears. And a horn. And a horn. And then you give it a neck. And it goes to a body. Then you just do this, and of course a little tail for the fleas, and then the dots, just to give him some detail. And there you have your giraffe made with a 1. Used yellow and orange Posca pens, but as I said, you can use anything, paint, pencils, whatever to color in. Next. Now we're going to do the number 2 and we're making a duck. So there is your number 2. And then you just make the body like this. It doesn't have to be precisely. There's a head, but you do like you can. Then you give it an eye. You give it a beak. And then it's on water. So you make little waves, and to finish off your duck, it's feathers. And there you have your duck. Used yellow, orange and blue. Okay. Now we're going to make a little bee. And how do you make a little bee? You use the number 3. So number 3, you close it, it makes an 8. And then you give it the antennae, its little face, and then you give him his wings because a bee can't fly without its wings. And the bee is not a bee without his stripe and his stinger. And there you have your little bee, yellow and black Posca pens. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is going to be Mr. Hedgehog. Now, how do I make Mr. Hedgehog? Here is my number 4. I'm not sure how you do your number 4, but this is how I do mine. I lengthen it at the back. And then I give Mr. Hedgehog some hair. And then I give him a face. And a happy smile. And a little snout. And you give him his feet, and then just a little detail, and there you have Mr. Hedgehog number 4 with brown and yellow Posca pens. Okay, number 5 will be our Mr. Dog. And how do you make the dog? This is how I make my number 5, but you can do the same or your own. Then you just close it like this. Then you give it some ears, because a dog must have ears. And then you give it eyes. I do cartoony eyes because I like cartoons. And then you give it a snout. And there you have your dog with brown Posca pens. Next, number 6. Number 6 is Mr. Snail. And how do you make snails? With a number 6, this is how you do it. There's your 6. But you're going to lengthen it and you're going to close it. And then you give it the detail in a little snail's house like this. And then you give it there a bit detail. You can also close it if you want to. It depends on your snail. And then you just give it a body like this. And of course his little eyes. And he's a happy snail, so he must get a smile. And there is number 6, our snail. And I used yellow, orange and black with orange the outline of the little snail. Next, we're going to make Mr. Woodpecker. Mr. Woodpecker, how do you make Mr. Woodpecker? You use number 7. And number 7 is like this. Then you give it a head. And you close the head with the beak. You give it an eye. And then you make the body closed with the feather, because he flies. Then you make the back for his tail, like this. Then you give it hair, because he's a woodpecker. And of course, Mr. Woodpecker is sitting in the tree. So you just make a little tree, like I'm doing here. And of course, he's not just sitting, he's sitting with his feet. And there you have Mr. Woodpecker made with number 7. And if you color it in, that's how it looks. Also with Posca pens. Okay, number 8. We're going to make a cat with number 8. So this is a circle and another circle for number 8. And then you give it ears. And then the hair. And then a little face. And of course, he needs a tail. So there's his little tail. And the cat is not a cat if it hasn't whiskers. And to color it in, there you're done. Color it in with yellow, brown or orange. Depends on what color you want to make your cat. The number 8. And the final one is number 9. And number 9 is going to be our deer. And how do you make number 9? Make a deer. There's your 9 circle, but you lengthen it as your number 9. And then you give it an eye and a snout like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You give it some ears, but it needs a body. So we make the neck longer and then we give it the body. And it needs a tail. And of course legs. And to finish him off, you can make the detail to give him more character. And there you have your number 9 deer, colored in with orange, brown, and a bit of grass for detail with green. And I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed everything I did today. Please share with me if you like and what you did, or if you enjoy what I showed you. Do subscribe and share. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.